recording. Okay.
Excellent. All right. The meeting of the Improvement and Services Committee on June 4th, 2025 is now called to order. I'll start with the roll call. Alder Eck.
Here.
Alder DeLee. Here. And I, Alder Presley, interim chair. Before we do the approval of the agenda, it says here approval of the agenda for the meeting date in brackets, meeting of the committee name. Do we need to amend that to make it correct, or do we just assume?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that should
one
have
that-
been for the previous one. We should probably just amend that.
The
to
one
say-
that I have printed, the most recent one.
Approval
Yeah,
of the
but what he's
agenda
saying
for-
is the agenda is for June 4th, but the minutes should be.
Oh, right.
Minutes should be from the previous, but should be,
The agenda just doesn't have the date
All
or
this,
the name
all
of the
this is
committee.
it must just be the
template?
template that
previous
they
template.
used without removing the dates and the committee name.
It just says,
It says in quotations, the meeting
oh, we
date,
actually have the dates in ours.
and then in
Oh, the version
quotations, the
that I
committee name.
have, the amended agenda.
Oh,
Did
well,
you
on
guys have
the-
the amended agenda, or do you have
It-
the regular?
it's
first
on
one?
the civic clerk, so
That's,
it's not like we're looking at a hard
Yeah.
copy.
Right.
And I don't think that, we don't get like a separate and then an amended, it's the, whatever the latest one.
Did you link to that, Jim, or is that what's posted?
I mean, it's not a big deal, it's the right stuff.
I don't think she got it amended.
Oh, because I printed the one she sent last.
No, the one in civic clerk is the amended one, because
Okay.
it has the Cass Street thing in there.
It's just a, I mean, it
It's
doesn't
just
sound like a
someone-
big deal, it just.
we missed putting the meeting date and committee name in on the amended agenda.
Yes, we'll just have to put in there the date. We'll get the correct date in there.
okay. So do we need to make an amendment to or anything?
I don't think so. I think we look at that as a Scrivener's.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Just make sure we get the right date in there.
I'll just-
Motion to approve?
Okay.
Second.
Motion to approve made by Alder Eck, seconded by Alder DeLee. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that carries. That is approved. Approval of the minutes from the May 14th Improvement and Services.
Move to approve.
Second?
All right, moved by Alder DeLee, seconded by Alder Eck. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that carries. On to regular business. 1, consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to approve and submit to WDNR the annual Electronic Compliance Maintenance Annual Report, ECMAR, and resolution approving the WDNR NR 208 Compliance Maintenance Annual Report.
Okay.
Interim
so,
Director.
This is the annual sanitary sewer report that we're required to submit to Wisconsin DNR. It's a requirement of the Wisconsin Administrative Code. And so as you can see, there's the report itself that's attached. And it, goes over things like what our financial standing is, making sure that we have enough funds available to do the work. It includes our 5-year capital improvement program, covers energy usage for our lift stations, and reports things like cleaning. So last year we cleaned 34% of the system, and we televised about 20% of the system. So we have a rotation that we do every year to make sure the system is maintained, the sanitary sewer system. So overall, everything was good. We also, in the report, put together what our goals are for the coming year. So in 2024, we reported that there were no sanitary sewer overflows. So that would be if there was like a discharge out of the sewers to the ground, to the rivers. So there were none of those. But we continue to review our program and make improvements every year. And in 2024, we hired an additional sewer maintenance worker in the sewer section to continue trying to increase our maintenance of the system. We have very old sewers, as you know, so there's always something that's happening and repairs that are needed. So it's an ongoing challenge for us. We had trained our sewer sewer section staff, we do NASCO training, so that's the certification for coating of the condition of the pipes, because we do our own televising. And again, we continue with our fog, fats, oil, and grease prevention program. And overall, we had an A rating for both the financial aspect of the report and the sewer system maintenance of the report. And the action that we're requesting would be to approve the Department of Public Works to submit the report to Wisconsin DNR, and I believe we're also asking for approval to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the resolution that goes along with the report, so that we can submit that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and is your motion also to authorize the mayor?
I thought it was all in one. Do I need to separate it out?
I believe it's all together.
Okay.
It's all
Okay.
together.
Yeah,
Oh,
looks
it's
like
perfect,
it.
okay.
The resolution.
All right, well, then we have a motion by Alder Eck and a second by Alder DeLee. Any discussion on that? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that is approved. Next, consideration with possible action on a request by Department of Public Works to approve the offering price reports for the Manitowoc Road Sidewalk project.
Okay, I'll take this one. As you're aware, we entered in the Manitowoc Road Sidewalk project as part of a TAP program through the DOT. That's going to be starting later this fall. Part of that is going through, and we had the consultant redesign it from its original design, where we affected probably 40 parcels down to the 12 that you see here. So what you're seeing on the table is essentially the cost for the temporary limited easements, mainly for construction. And on parcel number 1, there's a little bit of a fee area that we're actually purchasing. It's 51 square feet, I believe. And the dollar values there are listed. These are pretty much nominal dollar values. What happens is we hire an appraiser. The appraiser puts a dollar per square foot to it. It's all based off the square footage. There's no, orchestrating type of stuff that goes on. It's all pretty straightforward due to the fact that this is all part of the DOT system, and it's all audited by the DOT when we get done. So in this, we're just asking for approval of the to go out and purchase these properties and get the project going.
Motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Alder DeLee, second by Alder Eck. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and that carries. On to consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to award 2025 root treatment services contract to Duke's Root Control Incorporated in the amount of $67,931.15.
Okay, so this is also for our sanitary sewer system. Every year, we go through and we treat the lines where we have known root issues. So they supply a herbicide that goes into the line. It's a foam, and that kills off the roots, and they, kind of disintegrate into the pipe. It's important because it helps clear backups or prevent backups from occurring. If the sewers get filled with roots, the sewage can back up and it can back up into homes. So that's why we need to keep that clear. And until the point where we can actually replace or repair those lines. And this, let's see. So this is what's previously done under a 5-year contract. We went out to seek bids from other companies, and we didn't get any responses. And we've been using Duke's Root Control for many years, so we did this as a sole source purchase. And the recommendation is to award the root treatment services contract to Duke's for 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Alder Eck, seconded by Alder DeLee. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that carries. All right. For consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to approve the award of 425 East River Trail, Main Street to Highway Landscapers Incorporated in the amount of $578,373.
Okay, I'll take this one. This is the Parks project for doing the, what they're calling East River Trail, Main Street area, which is the area between Barrett and St. George on the south half of Main Street there, right along the East River. This is our second attempt at bidding this, and we had 3 bidders, all pretty competitive bids, and Parks had decided that they went on to award the base bid in the amount of $5,373 to Highway Landscapers.
Motion.
Motion approved?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Alder DeLee. Any discussion? All right, pretty straightforward. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that is approved. All right. Consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to approve the award of contract City Hall 1-25 third floor lighting to Frank O. Zize Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $348,000 or $348,209.
Okay, again, this is a project that is kind of a retread. We revised this to lighting and ceiling tile. We ended up, if you remember right, I think we brought the materials for doing our cabling through INS about a year ago, when we had internal staff actually do the cabling for the internet, so that our broadband and things like that would work better with the CAD in the computers. And we broke that out from the original project here. This project was, again, like I said, was bid for a second time. We had 1 bidder. It's for Frank Zize Construction. We're very comfortable with them. We're really close to what the engineer's estimate is, and we recommend awarding $348,208.
Question, Alder?
Thank you, Chair. Okay, so I was looking at the CIP, and it's at City Hall, mechanical engineering, and then replace main electrical
This is underneath Parks is paying for this.
Oh, it's under Parks. Well, what
Yes.
what is it, I'm looking on here under Parks
Yes.
then. I was wondering if it was Parks, but
Yes.
I don't think I see it under here. Let me look.
They've had the money for a while. That's been budgeted for us. It's just, we haven't had a chance to get it out for bid, so.
Well, it's under City Hall.
Yes, it's under City Hall.
Okay.
Yep.
City Hall, mechanical engineering, and then replace electrical service. And then it says 500 for the engineering and then 750 for electrical service.
That's the electrical service. That's the next project to come, where we're actually going to be changing out all the electrical equipment that drives City Hall.
Is that separate from this 348,000?
That's
then?
100% separate, correct.
But
Yes.
in the thing, it said that it was included in the CIP.
Yeah, the funding was it, but it was within the Parks CIP.
Okay. Well, I guess what I'm on here, that Parks is lists different things. It does not have anything on that. There's a separate one under City Hall.
Would probably because it's a carryover project. You might be seeing current projects.
It says
on
second
this.
half. It's the 750,000, and then under the description it says second half. I guess I'm just trying to figure out how it fits into the CIP. So you're saying it's under the City Hall,
Right.
and then this is a carryover project?
Yes, yes.
And
It's like I said, the last time we bid this was probably like a year and a half ago. And that's when they've been carrying the money over since then. So,
So
Okay.
would that fall on the current CIP then?
no.
It
No,
would be
because it's
on the-
carryover.
It would be on the previous.
Right, on the previous CIP, yes.
so you had extra money? Or from the previous one? I'm
We
just
just
trying
Right,
to
Yeah,
get.
yeah, you're right.
they bid it out, and they
Okay.
didn't get you got no bids? Or
No,
you got,
we had bids that were about double the
you had
price.
high bids, so then they
Okay,
had to
too high
redo
bids.
things and bid it out again. So it sounds like.
So
it's
the
been-
money was allocated for and still sitting there, it just
Correct.
wasn't,
Right.
And the bids have now come in better?
Yes.
Got it, all right. Now I'm tracking with you,
Now
just
we're
wanted to
cooking.
understand it. Yeah, with gasoline. That's,
There was 500,000 allocated for it, is that right?
well, it says under here 750, but then it was, hold on, I'm going back up to that, because
that's not
My
the current
screen's
one
only-
though, that's a different
there was, this
project.
was from 2025, borrowing requests.
No, the borrowing was.
The list
might
that I
have
have in
even
front of
been
me.
from 23 even.
Oh.
It might have been as early as 23.
Okay, a question
Well,
mark.
it's in budget, I trust you.
Okay, just, I wanted to understand because it said CIP,
So the
but I
current one
didn't
is
see it on the CIP
348,000.
specific.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So it's under parks,
Yep.
well, probably City Hall, from possibly 2023. Okay.
Yep.
We can put the CIP year next time, that might help.
Well, only because it said CIP, so, trying to do the
Just to
homework.
Yep.
It's just easier to,
cross-check.
yeah. Thank you, appreciate it.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion to approve made by Alder DeLee,
Second?
second by Alder Eck. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that is approved. All right, 6, consideration with possible action, a request by Department of Public Works to approve the award of contract Bridge 225 Main Street Bridge B5311 Hydraulic Rehabilitation Phase 3 to Lunda Construction Company in the amount of $675,468.
Okay, this is for the Main Street Bridge again. This will be essentially the last phase of the hydraulic work for the Main Street Bridge. This will be work done on the east side of the bridge. It includes installing 2 refurbished hydraulic power units, 2 refurbished hydraulic motors, and then doing some of the bearing repairs on the pivot pins. This has been in the planning stage for, I want to say decades, because it really almost has. Part of this is being funded by the CIP, and part of it is being, if you remember last year, the mayor was able to get a $1.2 million grant, if you will, from the DOT bridge section for this. So it's kind of being done under a reimbursement program, which means we have to spend the money first and then they'll reimburse us. Now, we have spent some of that money currently on buying the new equipment and getting the existing equipment refurbished. So there's kind of a balance between how much we have in the CIP and how much will be reimbursed by the state. The bids came back. We have 2 bids here. We're very comfortable with both bids. This is really specialized work, and you really don't have a lot of the contractors to pick from, but these 2 contractors are 2 of the better ones that do this type of work. And we're very happy with the way the bids came in. And so we do recommend awarding to Lunda in the amount of $675 and $468.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Alder Eck, seconded by Alder DeLee. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that carries. Excellent. All right, consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to award contract Bridge 325, bridge maintenance and concrete repairs at a staff level and report the award at the Improvement and Services Committee meeting on July 9th, 2025. Is that what we have in front of us here?
Well, this one is for
This is
the,
Cast.
Oh, that's
what our
Never
bridge
mind.
department likes to do is they're starting a process of doing coating the decks with silene. It's called silene. It's a kind of a waterproofer is one way of thinking about it. But what we do is we put out a contract to get the concrete work completed by a contractor. So they'll go in and they'll do the crack repair, crack routing to a certain degree. And then our crews come back and the people from operations will actually go and apply the silene down. And what this does is, the silene, like I said, is like a waterproofer that soaks into the concrete. And what it does is it prolongs the life of the concrete decks. So what we're trying to do is prolong the life of the bridges with this. So this one, there's a timeliness factor to this because we need to get the work done so that all of the concrete work is done and cured out by early fall. Because then you want to apply the silene in early fall because the temperature and humidity conditions are correct for curing it out. So that's why we're trying to do this at a staff level, just to try to get once the contract gets bid, we can get it awarded and get going with it, so.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion to approve by Alder Eck, seconded by Alder Delete. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that is approved. All right, report of actions taken by the Department of Public Works. 1, granting of licenses. A, sidewalk builder. A, American Custom Concrete LLC. B, Knapp's Flatwork and Construction. And C, Total Construction, Joe Maines Concrete.
Motion to receive and place on file?
Yes.
Second.
I jumped ahead, but I know it's been reported, or, you know.
He did the concrete at my dad's house.
All right, so we have a motion to receive and place on file by Alder Egg, seconded by Alder Delete. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. And then consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to award pavement 125 Cass Street reconstruction to the lowest responsible bidder.
Yes, and this
That is what
one,
we have.
we just bid it yesterday afternoon. That's why weren't able to get it in the packet for you. But we're trying to get this awarded as quickly as possible as well, so we can get it constructed to start. This is a short stretch of Cass Street going from Monroe to Madison Street, over by St. James Park in that area, just a little bit south of Mason Street. As you can see, we had 5 bidders. All the bids were really tight. This was below the estimate by quite a bit, and so we recommend awarding to Peters Concrete in the amount of $258,866.64.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve made by Alder Egg, seconded by Alder Delete. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that carries. All right, on to informational. Director's report on recent activities, or interim director's report on recent
I'll let her answer
activities.
We don't actually have anything since I've just been interim for 2 days, so, Steve's retired, and that was it's a big loss for us, so we're working on getting everything together now that he's moved on.
The one thing I will add is be careful for our next meeting, there will be a room change. We believe the next meeting will be held up in 310 because this room got double booked.
Oh,
So that'll apply for parks as well, I believe.
okay, thank
So
you.
that's one thing to look at when you see the
I
agenda.
think Steve had actually brought it up.
Was that the meeting, we had that room once before, correct?
Yes.
It was like a conference room, okay.
Yeah, that's up on our floor on that corner.
So so there really wasn't
I
a
think that's for
report?
the next 2 meetings. We have to do
Oh,
it.
okay.
Sorry.
No report.
So I don't have to receive and place on
Nope.
file? Okay, we got it.
All right. Well, the next Improvement and Services Committee meeting will be on June 18th. So,
Motion to adjourn.
second adjourn made by Alder Egg, seconded by Alder Delete. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are
All right.
adjourned.
Well, welcome interim director.
Yeah.
Survived.